Hello, happy Saturday. Thought I'd make this video to answer a few questions for you. You might be wondering why at this time I opened Estrea Solutions. Well, it's because I have a lot of experience. Half my career I've been the guy on the tools before moving into HR. So what I have to offer is experience as a worker, as a supervisor, as a manager in multiple industries. I started out when I was 18 working for my dad, Port Hardy, BC, the northern end of Vancouver Island. I worked for him for about 10 years. In the beginning, I was on the crew, working side by side with my coworkers. As I learned, I had opportunities. I had the opportunity to move up to supervisor. When I became a supervisor, I always kept in mind what it was like to be a worker. So I handled my situations that way. I made a few mistakes, obviously. Being a young supervisor isn't the easiest thing. But as the years went on, I improved. After about 5 years, my dad moved on. He went to work for the government, so I got promoted to manager. Pretty great. I was in my mid-20s. I had several years experience, worker, supervisor, now as a manager. I was responsible for bidding the contracts and supervising the crews. I had to do the recruitment, probation, everything you had to do as a small business owner. I learned a lot in that time. In about 2000, I had an opportunity to go back to school. I chose to study engineering, forest technology. I went to NVIT and then finished my diploma at Malaspina. So then I was back to work as a worker, as a forest engineer in Was, a little further south, Port Hardy. I worked in Was for a few years, and then an opportunity came up to go consulting. So I went to work for a consultant as the project engineer. So moving back up the ladder again. Then a tragedy struck. 2006, I slipped off a log and hamburgered my left knee. So my career in the bush was over. I had to decide what would be the best way to apply my skills I'd learned in the first part of my career. So I decided to study human resources. So I went to school in Victoria and studied a postgrad in human resources. I started out at the bottom. Again, third time lucky. Started out as an HR assistant with the Canadian government and worked my way up. I worked for Royal Roads University. I worked for Cowichan Tribes. I worked for Asiona Services. I learned a lot. And as I've mentioned in other posts and the other video, I had a tragedy, a personal tragedy, and I made a decision to move on. I made the decision to move to Colombia. So I've been in Colombia for about 4 years now. Now it's about time for a change. So I saw an opportunity. I see a lot of companies struggling finding human resources support. So I decided to open Estrea Solutions. Estrea Solutions is your solution to your HR needs. I have all the skills necessary. As I said earlier, as a worker, supervisor, manager, and now owner. That's not to say that I'm soft and I don't apply my HR skills to what I do. I know that things have to be done right, by the book, legal, all the rest of it. But what I offer that's different is I've had the experience. I know what it's like to be on the floor. I know what it's like to be on the tools. I know what it's like to be a supervisor and a manager struggling to get things done with limited resources. So what I can offer you is HR, professional HR support with the knowledge of your challenges. I'm looking forward to helping you. Hope we meet soon. Have a great day. Ciao.